Hello, everybody. It is day 20, wow, of 365 days of suspending disbelief. And today I am definitely needing to stand in my suspending disbelief power. It is March 12th, 2024, Mother's Day, which, of course, being a single mom, my kids didn't really know or weren't, my son did like a school project and whatever earlier in the week. They didn't really realize it was Mother's Day. So we just had a regular day kind of um, until my kid's dad sent some money just saying like from the kids for Mother's Day, so that you don't have to cook. And I'm sharing this because I manifested pizza, you guys. Okay. So in my um, gratitude rampage that I did the other day, I mentioned that I was looking forward to eating pizza or ordering pizza or something along those lines. And he literally was like, "Order pizza so you don't have to cook." And with the state that I'm in financially, I was like, well, like he sent this money. Should I just buy some groceries? Should I put gas in the car? All of the things came to mind. And I was like, no, I'm suspending disbelief that like I need this money so drastically that I can't use it for what it's for, that I can't have the gift that's being given to me for Mother's Day. And so I bought the pizza. And that was what actually reminded my kids that it was Mother's Day because the delivery lady said Happy Mother's Day as she was leaving. And my oldest was like, "Wait, what?" So that was my Mother's Day. A much harder evening, and why I am recording in the car right now at, I don't know, 1:30 in the morning or something. Um, and trigger warning, for anyone, if you have kids listening, or also for yourself if needed. Trigger warning for suicide. Um, so I will just give it a second uh, before I start on that so that anybody can turn it off if needed. Uh, okay, so over the last um, year, I have had a lot of ups and downs, as most of you know, and um, some of them have included my oldest daughter's father. Um, so I don't want to go too much into someone else's story, right? But it's been a rough chunk of time. And in the morning, I messaged him asking if he was okay. He said he really wasn't doing well and was going to check himself into hospital at night. And he um, didn't make it till the evening before making an attempt. Thankfully, he is safe and alive, and um, we are traveling to the city that he's now in to go and see him, myself and my daughter, which is why I'm recording in the car. Um, Hopefully, the noise isn't too bad, and it will be okay for you guys to hear. This part of the road is really bumpy, so um, anyway, I mean, this is obviously a hard thing for him. This is a hard thing for my daughter. And I find myself, I mean, it's hard for me too. He's one of my best friends. And my heart is heavy, right? I'm really glad that he's still alive. And but it's still hard. And I definitely did find myself having thoughts like, how am I supposed to get things done so that I can make money? Or how am I supposed to, you know, manifest all of these things that I am suspending disbelief for, that I am, my success is inevitable, and all of that. Like, how am I supposed to do this and, borrow money for gas to travel to go see him and take his daughter to him? And how am I supposed to, and all of these things started popping up. And I have to say, like, I'm really grateful for um, this challenge, for this experiment, to remind me that I'm suspending disbelief, that
Okay, apologies for the choppiness and the fact that that recording got cut off. I actually thought I finished recording, but my phone must have lost service while I was driving, um, and I didn't complete, or it didn't capture the complete episode that I meant to record. So, um, also going back and listening to what I had recorded the other night, I realized that in my, just being in that moment, I was sharing too much of someone else's story. So, that being said, I did cut out chunks where I shared just in too much detail someone else's private business type of thing, right? So I know I said I wouldn't edit these; they would be raw. I tried to leave in my feelings and leave out his private story as much as possible. Um, and what I do want to pick back up on, though, is it cut off all of the fantastic, wonderful mindset stuff that I had the realizations of at the end of the episode. So, where it cut off, I was saying that I'm really grateful for this challenge, for this experiment, to remind me that I'm suspending disbelief and that my success is inevitable no matter what, that I am always exactly where I need to be. And that included this, devastating, traumatic event going on in my life. And the fact that it was going to pull me away from home and from work and whatever for an unknown amount of time. And it was I was just really grateful to have been at the point in this experiment where it has now become a habit for me to say, nope, I'm suspending disbelief, or nope, my success is inevitable. And so I don't have to worry. I don't have to be afraid or any of it because I'm suspending disbelief, which means that I am trusting, I'm believing, right? So, and one of the things that I remember that I had talked about was a friend of mine from online, Ashley, had just that same day or the day before told me, um, completely unrelated, but had told me that day 19 of building a new habit is usually when kind of things come to a head and things seem to go wrong and all of that. And if you make it to day 20, you're golden. And when I was recording this episode, it was day 20. And I was just saying, like, it really felt true to me because the the mindset piece was automatic. Yes, I had all of these questions popping up, like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to um, get to my success when I can't even work because there's things going on, etc. But it was very, very quickly flipped over to, I don't need to know the how. I just know that my success is inevitable. I don't need to know the how because I'm suspending disbelief and there's just no room for that. There's no room for that disbelief or for yeah, there's no room for that disbelief. Um and something that may have thrown me into say a couple of days or a week or maybe even ongoing have thrown me off of my journey for something like this, right? If I was trying to create a new habit and then this scenario had happened, um, I would say that most times in the past that I would have probably been thrown off of this new habit until further notice. Like even if I was only gone for a couple of days for the event and then went back home, it would have been enough to make a break in that routine that I was building for myself and throw me off of uh, the sort of like more instantaneous or faster response where I catch myself in the downward spiral, right? The negative spiral of how am I supposed to handle this and what am I going to do, right? So I just I know I talked about a lot more in the original recording, but I really was mainly just expounding on the fact that I'm really really grateful to this challenge for putting me in a mental space where I was able to, within minutes, maybe an hour or two, um, have passed over that how and why and what am I going to do phase into no, I'm okay and it's going to be fine and I'm trusting and my success is still inevitable. And that is very, very powerful. And it just proves the power of this experiment. And yeah, so that is about that. Um, I do apologize for the sound at the beginning of this episode. Recording in the car was very noisy. I was hoping it wasn't picking up as much of it, but listening back to it, I was like, "Oof, it's a bit much." But um, I am sure that everyone will understand that, and I'm not going to edit beyond the fact that I just took out those chunks that are not mine to share. Um, and yeah, um, just really, really grateful for this experiment, for this challenge. And I will talk to you all tomorrow.